हेलो एंड वेलकम टू लर्निंग लेसन्स विद स्मार्शी। तो आज हम करते हैं जी पैराडाइज लॉस्ट के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस। पैराडाइज लॉस्ट बाय जॉन मिल्टन। तो इज़ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट एन एपिक और नॉट? ठीक है, इससे भी पहले एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि व्हाट इज़ एपिक। ठीक है, तो एपिक क्या होती है? एपिकली आपने ये याद रखना है कि तीन चीज़ें एपिक होती हैं। एक तो वो लॉन्ग नैरेटिव होती हैं, ठीक है, दूसरा उसमें वो ग्रैंड स्टाइल होता है, और तीसरा उसमें हेरोइक डीड्स या हेरोइक एक्शंस होते हैं। ठीक है, तीन चीज़ें। और लॉन्ग नैरेटिव हैविंग हेरोइक डीड्स एंड ग्रैंड एक्शन और ग्रैंड स्टाइल। ओके, सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एपिक। उसके बाद आ जाते हैं जी, इज पैराडाइज लॉस्ट इन एपिक और नॉट? तो पैराडाइज लॉस्ट इज द ग्रेटेस्ट एपिक पोएम एवर रिटन। इट हैज़ अ ग्रेट थीम ऑफ disobedience of Adam and Eve and their expulsion from the paradise. It relates to the incidents how they were expelled from the paradise. It also justifies the ways of God to man. अच्छा, दूसरा सवाल है जी, हु इज़ द राइटर ऑफ द पोइम? तो ये बिल्कुल ईजी सा सवाल है। जॉन मिल्टन इज़ द राइटर ऑफ द पोइम। इज़ अ ग्रेट राइटर, प्योरिटन, टुक प्लॉट ऑफ दिस पोइम फ्रॉम बाइबल। तो बाइबल से उसने ये स्टोरी ली थी। व्हेन वाज पैराडाइज लॉस्ट रिटन? पैराडाइज लॉस्ट वाज फर्स्ट रिटन और पब्लिश्ड इन 1667 in 10 books. Okay, however it was revised later and divided into 12 books. Okay, शुरू में ये 10 बुक्स में लिखी गई थी, एंड लेटर इट वाज रिवाइज्ड इनटू 12 बुक्स. इन हाउ मेनी बुक्स वाज पैराडाइज लॉस्ट रिटन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम? तो इट वाज रिटन इन 10 बुक्स. ठीक है, ये पहले भी क्वेश्चन हो गया कि लेटर इट वाज रिवाइज्ड इनटू 12 books. When was the second edition of Paradise Lost published? After the sale of the first Paradise Lost, A Hot Cake, Milton revised its edition and published it into 12 books in 1674. पहला जो एडिशन ये पब्लिश हुआ 1667 और बाद वाला 1674. Why did Milton take a religious theme to write this epic? Okay. So Milton himself was a Puritan. The Puritan were so extremist in their treatment of religion. So being a Puritan, Milton chose a religious theme based on Bible. From which century does Milton belong? Milton belonged to 17th century. Shakespeare के बाद में ये आया था. Shakespeare, right after Shakespeare and John Donne. It is also called Puritan age and age of Milton too. Which are the three great epics? Great epics कौन सी हैं? Now, these are the three great epics in the world literature: Paradise Lost by John Milton, Aeneid and Iliad, and Odyssey. Odyssey by Homer है, Iliad और Aeneid जो है वो वर्जिल की है. ठीक है, तो ये तीन चार जो मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट एपिक्स हैं, द ग्रेटेस्ट एपिक्स इन द वर्ल्ड कंसिडर किया जाता है जिनको. इन विच जॉनरा द पैराडाइज लॉस्ट इज रिटन? पैराडाइज लॉस्ट इज रिटन इन ब्लैंक वर्स. ब्लैंक वर्स इज अ क्वालिटी ऑफ एन एपिक पोइम दैट मिल्टन यूज्ड इट इन हिज बुक एज अ ट्रेडिशन. ब्लैंक वर्स में उसने ये लिखी थी. और ब्लैंक वर्स होती क्या है बेसिकली जो है ब्लैंक वर्स में ये है कि उसमें राइम स्कीम नहीं होती एंड पे, और अयम्बिक पेंटामीटर होती हैं. तो अनराइम्ड अयम्बिक पेंटामीटर इज कॉल्ड ब्लैंक वर्स. अनराइम्ड अयम्बिक पेंटामीटर इज कॉल्ड ब्लैंक वर्स. ब्लैंक वर्स का भी आपको मैंने साथ ही बता दिया है. व्हाट इज़ द स्टोरी ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट? द स्टोरी ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट इज फॉल ऑफ मैन. ओके, जैसे को पहले भी उसने पूछा, जस्टिफाई द वेज ऑफ गॉड टू मैन, या द फॉल ऑफ मैन. इट इज़ अबाउट एडम एंड ईव हु मेड अ मिस्टेक एंड वॉज एक्सपेल्ड फ्रॉम पैराडाइज. गॉड हैड फॉरबिडन देम फ्रॉम ईटिंग द फ्रूट ऑफ नॉलेज, दे एट इट. विच इज़ द लॉन्गेस्ट बुक ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट? द लॉन्गेस्ट बुक ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट इज इट्स बुक जो 9 है, बुक 9 बुक जो है ये सबसे ज़्यादा बड़ी है. इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ 1189 लाइन्स के ऊपर ये मबनी है. विच इज़ द शॉर्टेस्ट बुक ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट? द शॉर्टेस्ट बुक ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट इज द बुक 7 जो है. इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ 640 लाइन्स में इसमें मौजूद हैं जी. विच मॉडल डज पैराडाइज लॉस्ट फॉलो? द पैराडाइज लॉस्ट फॉलोज द मॉडल ऑफ एनिड रिटन बाय वर्जिल जो है. ठीक है, तो ये एनिड की है एक जो वर्जिल ने लिखी थी, ग्रेटेस्ट एपिक, उसका मॉडल इसने फॉलो किया है. मिल्टन बेस्ड his story on Bible and adopted the model followed by Virgil. What was the main purpose of writing Paradise Lost? Being a true Puritan, Milton wanted to tell the importance of religion and punishment of disobedience of God. So he chosen a theme that was just to justify the ways of God to man. In how many years was Paradise Lost written? Milton wanted to make a work of masterpiece in the world of literature. He worked with all his wits and completed his book Paradise Lost in 6 years. It took 6 years to write this Paradise Lost. From where did Milton get inspiration to write Paradise Lost? He read the complete story of the fall of Adam and Eve in the Bible. Being a Christian, he thought to preach the poem, and therefore he got inspiration from the Bible जो है. Which fruit did Adam and Eve eat in the paradise जो है? God forbade Adam and Eve from the fruit of tree of knowledge, but they ate it when Saturn traded them. Okay. The next question है कि in which shape did Saturn enter paradise and why you have? When Saturn faced defeat in his war against God, the angels threw him into the pit of hell with his comrades. However, he was a courageous warrior. He started an impious war against God and decided to betray Adam. Therefore, he entered paradise in the shape of an adder. Adder कहते हैं अजदहा जो होता है ना, या सांप, तो सांप की शेप में वो गया था, इन द शेप ऑफ एन एडर, स्नेक. Where did Adam and Eve work in paradise? Both Adam and Eve worked in the Garden of Eden, where they used to pass their time by looking after the garden. When Satan entered paradise, Eve was working alone. Therefore, he succeeded in betraying her by praising her. Okay. How many speeches does Satan make in the Paradise Lost, Book 1? So Saturn has 5 speeches. Okay, Saturn is a hero. Saturn is like a hero. It's a very debatable question whether he is a hero or not. If we see the structure of the poem of the Paradise Lost, we can say that the famous dialogues, the famous speeches are related to Saturn, because these type of his quotations, for example, it is better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. These type of quotations have been searched too much time in Google, and it has been quoted too much times, and these are you can say that these are the famous lines of these Paradise Lost, all the books. So structurally he has is a sort of person that is hero, but we cannot say morally he was incorrupt. So a hero cannot be morally incorrupt or evil, so he was not a hero actually. So Saturn is like a hero when he makes speeches to his comrades. He makes 5 speeches in book 1 of Paradise Lost. His speeches infuse a new spirit among his companions, and they came out of hell waving their swords. Next question है जी, where were Saturn and his companions thrown after rebellion? The angel threw Saturn and his companions in the pit of hell. It was a lake of fire. They were thrown into pit of hell. It was a lake of fire. This strange fire had no light. It was all dark and black. What is the condition of the faces of Saturn and his comrades after defeat? The scene is very pathetic. The angels that were once ministers of God, with like stars, restored like faces, seem as fallen angels in the spring season, fallen leaves in the spring season. Okay, fallen leaves in the spring season. The color of their faces has become black. They look much fearful. So this condition is very powerful, and this scene is created by the imaginative power of John Milton. Was extremely powerful imagination, we can say. इसी से आप अंदाज़ा लगा रहे हैं कि उसकी imagination कितनी powerful थी कि ये सारा scene usually we have not seen these things in our daily life. तो उसने वो चीज़ें पहले अपनी imagine की हैं, और उसको imagine करने के बाद उसने जो है वो ये सारी लिखी हैं. That's why he has a great imaginative power. Does Saturn feel shame at his defeat or not? No, Saturn does not feel shame at his defeat, but he has a will to launch a war against God. He asks his comrade to be weak is miserable. To be weak is miserable. To be weak is miserable. He said in one of his speeches. And did Saturn, what do the field be lost? All is not lost. He used to say in his speeches, what do the field be lost? All is not lost. The unconquerable will. Did Saturn prefer hell to Paradise Lost? Saturn and his comrades chose hell as the realm. Saturn is of the view it is better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. Therefore, we see that he is ready to accept defeat. What is the decision of the comrades after Saturn's speech? The decision of comrades of Saturn is to launch an impious war against God. They answer in a tone to be with Saturn in this war. They were not ready to give in. How many days did the fallen angel live in the pit of hell? They remained in the pit of hell for 9 days. For 9 days. ये आपने याद रखना है. How many days they live in the pit of hell? They lived there for 9 days after they came out of the heaven. They fell like fallen angels, fallen leaves in spring season. Okay, they remained for 9 days. What do you know about the pandemonium? What is pandemonium? The pandemonium means all the devils. It's a plain place near hell. The damned angels stayed here after coming out of the pit of hell. Which of the fallen angels whom people worshipped as gods in the world? The names of the fallen angels that were later worshipped in the world as gods are Malak, Astries, Thamus, and Belial. What are the characteristics of grand style of Milton? What is grand style? Grand style is ornamental, sublime, and classic. Ornamental, sublime, and classic. He uses similes, personification, allusions, blank verse in his masterpiece. ठीक है, तो ये आपने याद रखना है. व्हाट इज ग्रैंड स्टाइल? ग्रैंड स्टाइल इज ornamental, sublime, and classic. Ornamental, sublime, and classic, having similes, personification, allusions, black words. That is what are the qualities of an epic? The epic qualities is invocation, moral theme, unity of action, supreme characterization, sublimity, and grand style. What literary devices does Milton use in Paradise Lost? So he uses simile, metaphor, allusions, alliteration, blank words. His similes are superb. His blank verse is bombastic.